I want to bring in Rhode Island Democratic Senator Jack Reed, ranking member on the Armed Services Committee and member of the Appropriations Committee. Senator, I do want to start on that wall. We're talking about it. Do you think there's any way Congress puts up that kind of money to build the wall, $8 billion?
There are so many more important needs with respect to homeland security than building a wall across Mexico that I myself would be opposed to it. I don't think it's the way to spend the money. And again, as President-elect Trump indicated, he was going to make the Mexicans pay. That was the arrangement. And I think putting it on the American taxpayer now and with so many other demands would be unacceptable.
Well, I just want to be sure I qualify it. President-elect Trump has said the United States would front the money and Mexico would pay later. I want to turn now to today's intelligence briefing at Trump Tower. You have seen the evidence that the public has not. Is there enough there to convince Donald Trump that Russia indeed hacked our election?
The testimony yesterday from General Clapper, Admiral Rogers, was so compelling on both sides of the aisle, Republicans and Democrats. There was no real question about the intent, the effect of the Russians. They wanted to influence the election. They attempted to influence the election. They participated in a very comprehensive plan. It was not just hacking, it was false news stories, it was social media, it was coordinated. Those are facts that have been established very clearly by the intelligence community, and they have to be accepted by the president-elect. That's my view.
But do they? He hasn't accepted it yet. Do you think he'll turn today?
I hope he does, because I think one of your colleagues made the point that he defies the facts. More and more Americans are going to be wondering, why is he doing that? It'll be a cloud upon his actions with respect to not just to Russia, but to other countries. So I think, frankly, it's his interest to say, we've resolved this issue. I'm convinced by what's been done, and let's move forward. And more importantly, let's take steps to prevent this from happening, not just in the United States, but elsewhere. There are elections in Europe this year that are critical to our security. And if those elections are influenced or interfered with by the Russians in a similar way, that could have deleterious effects to the United States.
Going forward, Donald Trump working with the intelligence community, he's got Mike Flynn by his side, and General Flynn has a complicated relationship with intelligence leaders. And now former Senator Dan Coats is set to be Trump's choice for Director of National Intelligence. You served with him for the last 5 years. Can you tell us about him?
Dan Coats is a principled gentleman. He's someone who's very thoughtful. He's someone that has great dedication to the country, who has served the country with distinction. There'll be a series of policy issues that he'll have to respond to. There'll be a series of issues with respect to the rigors of any confirmation process. But he brings with him an appreciation by his colleagues of his commitment and of his integrity.
You know, in just a few weeks, we're going to have not just Dan Coats, but really a whole new barrage of intelligence leaders taking their seats. Do you think they will be on the same page you are, or that we heard yesterday in the hearing, or is there going to be a totally new approach? Because yesterday was almost the first time we've heard in ages, bipartisan across the board, saying this is serious what Russia is doing. We need to address it. Is that going to continue, or could that change in just a few weeks?
No, I hope it continues. It must continue. This bipartisan approach, which was manifested yesterday, and I must commend Chairman McCain for his leadership on the committee, it demonstrates that we have to focus on issues of significant consequence to the United States. We have to do it in a bipartisan way. We have to ensure that our intelligence community provides the best possible analysis. It always should be questioned and reviewed and revised. But I think the disparagement of the intelligence community is wrong. I think, as one of the other commentators suggested, private, thoughtful, probing analysis and questioning is the right way to go. But publicly, I think we have to recognize we have a lot of men and women who are risking their lives daily to protect this country and the intelligence community.
All right. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I appreciate your thoughts.
Thank you.